Teen Mom is one of the most popular series MTV has going now, since we're past the glory days of The Hills and Jersey Shore. So to keep this gravy train rolling, they do all these spin-offs. One of those is the Being Specials, which is focused on a side member of Teen Mom. So far we have Being the Edwards, Being Matt, Being Butch, Being Deborah, Being Nathan, Being Barbara, Being Javi, Being V, and today we have Being Gary. Some of these specials are boring and some are better than the show itself. If I had to recommend one to you, it would be Being Nathan. That one is hilarious, because Nathan is an idiot. This one, on the other hand, kind of makes me want eye bleach or ear bleach, if that's a thing, and if you watched it, you probably know why. In this episode, Gary talks about how his mom isn't close to his kids because she always puts her boyfriends first. When she starts dating, she stops coming by Gary's to help with the kids, unless it's to ask him for money. Sound familiar? Like anybody we might know? Anyway, Gary's mom has a new boyfriend, or more accurately, she's rekindling old flames and dating Gary's dad, Jody, who has been MIA for 20 years now. But it turns out he actually comes to see Gary more than his mom does. Now, at least. You can only imagine how weird this must feel for Gary, but it gets even weirder when we learn that Gary's mom refuses to admit they're in a relationship because Jody won't have sex with her enough. Ew, didn't really need to hear that. But this isn't just one comment from them in this episode either. This is something they talk about in detail the entire episode. Gary invited his parents and his brother's family to go on a trip to Florida with them for Leah's birthday. On Leah's birthday, Amber half-heartedly calls Leah, Gary calls Amber to tell her to say happy birthday to her own child. I guess she couldn't do that herself. And then when Leah asks Amber to sing happy birthday to her, she doesn't do it and gives some lame excuse about how her throat hurts. Lame, Amber. Lame. Jody says he wants to propose to Gary's mom. Gary, who wants to have his family together at last, says sure, but Gary's brother says he knows their mom isn't going to like it and is probably going to say no. Sure enough, at the beach, when Jody gets down on one knee to propose, Carol is whining, complaining, and even just walking away from the man, leaving him awkwardly kneeling there in the sand. Does this remind you of anyone else, maybe? Anyway, she says no over and over again, totally embarrassing him, and then won't agree to it eventually until he agrees to have more sex with her. But Gary's 60-something-year-old mom isn't done talking about sex yet, unfortunately for everyone. That night, her and Gary get together to talk about why she's been absent in his kids' lives lately. Gary is just joking around as usual, and Carol is not having it. She starts yelling and getting all red, and she screams, even though there's children in the next room over, that Jody doesn't have enough sex with her, and that's why she won't marry him until he does. It's just disgusting. Like, this is her son. Why would he want to talk to his parents about this kind of thing? It's clear that Gary is more mature than either of them and Amber. Carol says she doesn't come to see Gary because he pokes fun at her and Jody too much, and she doesn't like his joking around. Gary does like his jokes, but I don't think that's a valid reason to not be a good grandparent to your grandkids. At the end, she finally calms down and they hug it out. Overall, this episode shed a new light on Gary's mom. She helped him out a lot in the first few seasons of Teen Mom and made herself look really good, but now obviously she's not around as much. She just seems super ungrateful about the proposal and everything, and her yelling about not getting enough sex to her own son was just trashy and disturbing. But I think we can see a lot of similarities with Amber and Carol, and that's probably why Gary put up with Amber for so long. What are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment below and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom content.